Welcome to Tom Talks. Is that my job to do that?
That's fine.
I had no idea.
It says here you're a comedian.
I am. I'm a comedian. I've been a comedian, a stand-up comedian, and a comedian actor, and a comedian personality.
What's your process like?
Some of the process that I go through is I watch your stuff and then I take notes and copy that.
Oh, and that's why I welcome you here today.
Well, and I'm grateful to be here. And I think you're a great presenter, comedian, host.
Do you think we should adopt that from the Brits?
What?
They say that there's a presenter.
Oh, I thought you meant sit up straight.
Well, we should.
They
too.
really do.
They do. Their posture's good. They wear tighter suits.
Right. Well, they're tinier. They're tinier people.
They are.
They're little
much
tiny
smaller.
little biscuit eaters.
Yeah, they are. Little tea drinkers.
We should.
Dude, do you know how you look so much better?
Do I look more? What is this? What would this be called? Astute?
You do. You look sophisticated. I feel like I see that you work out now.
Yes. Thank you. Great to be here, Tom. So I've made my journey to the United States to do stand-up comedy. Of course, I'll share a joke with you. One of my first crushes.
Do you care to consult your notebook?
I can't wait to hear how many people are just like, those are bad British accents.
Yeah, they always do.
I know how to do a good one, but I always get it confused because I hear enough of Australians online or New Zealand.
Can you do Australian like off the
I just
dome?
like hello. I just like, oh, hello. I love that. Yeah.
That's good.
You guys. Yeah, I think that's... But I get all of those.
That was solid.
New Zealand, Australia, and British. At some point, they all start to intertwine.
They kind of, and
well,
then
they're all bad people, so I just think it's one and the same.
And then you got South Africans in there.
South Africa, South Africa is more. That's more like offensive, like this way down. It's more down there,
dude. Yes,
yeah.
And like, if I'm dating you and you're South African, I know your parents are racist, and I get a rush out of it. You know what I mean?
It is fun, because you don't know what's going to slip out of your dad's mouth.
It's gonna be
the brownies.
wild.
You know, the brownies down there are no good. You're like, sorry, the who's?
Yeah.
Have you?
When I was in South Africa, I remember meeting a couple, and they came. We're doing the South African Comedy Festival, and I met them, and I was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And they're like, "We're from England." And I go, it's an amazing experience to be in South. It's like a different world.
I've never been.
And it's stunning, and it's amazing, and the culture, the food, just like people. You're amazed. And I was like, "When did you move here?" And they're like, "Oh, we came here in like '86." And I was like, "Oh," and I'm like, so like you chose to come here at the height of apartheid,
right when it was kicking, dude.
And they're like, "Yeah, those were the days, man."
Yeah,
but
the good old days.
Yeah.
Back when you could own one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll take 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh my God."
I'm confused about South Africa because now, like, look, I'm not a smart person, but what I do know about that apartheid thing is they're like, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
And then everything you read, you're like, but it is. It still is.
It's still, I mean.
They're like, it's not. And you're like, that's like sometimes when my dad, like from the South, he's like, the South is changing. And you're like, sure. And then I go back there and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Baby steps.
It might be. It's on its way.
Yeah. It's not totally different
But
yet,
no, they're still
The strange thing is, like, you look at America's, like history of race and like race relations in particular with white people and black people, and you go, one of the things that stands out is that there's a white majority.
Yeah.
The strange thing about being in South Africa is you're like, oh, it's a white minority, like a real minority.
Yeah.
And they were the oppressors. It changes the dynamic of it.
Well, it makes you know how good they were at what they did.
You're like, wow, so they're that strong and good? Cool. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Also, race relations, just not a thing right now in America.
Everything's good.
At all. Everything is fine. Everything seems fine as far as I know.
It feels like the news every day. You're like, oh, it's a good
Getting
day.
back to square one. We're really kicking in the right direction.
Yep. I feel like, things couldn't be better with the police.
Yeah, no, I think that's really on par with where the only bummer.
And we need more guns. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
I feel like it's our right. One of the amendments, the Second Amendment is the right to own guns, and the Fourth or Fifth Amendment is the right to own more guns. Or get by as many as you. One of them is you can own them. The other one is should have got to get more.
There was a super, what I call a neato day.
Yeah.
I think it was Sunday of last week.
Okay.
Where there was 3 mass shootings in 3 different cities.
That's what Whitney got that from.
Shout out to Whitney Cummings.
Shout out Whitney Cummings. That's where she gets her stuff from.
The biggest fan of mass shooters we know.
Or it's a conspiracy, and all the mass shooters are doing that because of her. They're like,
we thought
we got it. You thought we wanted pop, pop, pop. Isn't that what you had said to us? And she's meanwhile dyeing her hair a new color, and she's like, I think so.
And they're like, you didn't want us to kill people? Here's like the really like the bizarre thing is like, it was 3 in a day.
Yeah.
And I just ordered lunch.
Yeah. I just had,
That's just what happens.
You almost don't think about it anymore. When you see stuff like that, you're
really?
like, wow, that's us.
Yeah.
That's
I was at the Omaha Mall where there was like 2 weeks ago.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I was in Omaha doing a gig, and that's where they killed someone.
Dude, isn't that weird? Doesn't that feel so weird when I was doing an interview with Golden Tate when he was with Detroit.
Yeah.
And we had 24 hours in Detroit to do this show that I was doing. So we literally flew in. I was exhausted. We had already traveled a bunch, and we just did this quick interview at his old high school, at a local high school. And it was like super late. And then they were like, do you guys want to go get dinner or drinks? I was like, dude, I'm so tired. I think I'm going to go home. I go home to the hotel. I pass out so hard. I wake up the next day, like rushing to get my flight. And I get to the airport and everyone's like really somber. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm thinking, oh my God, did the tape get lost or whatever? Because the crew they were like, no, dude, in the hotel that we're in is Chris Cornell killed himself in Detroit in the night that I was there.
Oh my God.
I know, I could have stopped him.
You could have.
I think about it every day. I could have stopped him. We could still have Soundgarden. But isn't that fucked up that I was in that fucking hotel? I thought like to myself how creepy it was. Because they were all like, I was so sad that he died, but it didn't sink in that where I was like, wait a minute, we were at the same hotel?
Yeah, It
was such a mind fuck.
That's a mind trip,
Yeah, it was super weird. It was like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, how did I not like feel it or know in the morning?
Yeah.
Like when you're in a place where something
energy,
tragic
right?
Oh my God. I was like, how did I not feel about it? That's why, because when you're on your own plane sometimes, you're just not thinking about anything.
Yeah.
It'll just swoop by you. And then when I felt it, I was like, man, that's so weird. Maybe it was. I just couldn't tell.
That brings you down though, right?
Big time.
Oh,
bad flight. Had to drink the whole flight.
Yeah.
Had to drink on the whole flight. Honestly, when I'm on airplanes, I always have whiskey. You know, I'm a whiskey guy, but I always have whiskey because it gets me nice and like it gets my muscles loose and nice and tired so I can sleep.
Yeah.
If I have like vodka or tequila or beer, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to like chat with my neighbor.
Wine will also knock me out. Like red wine.
Yeah, but I can't do red wine.
No?
It stains my teeth. I look like, Grimace. I'm like, can I get some more biscottis? And they're like, sir.
Now, are you a morning whiskey drinker on flights too? You're one of those guys?
No, actually, I'm not. No, I'm not. Bert is usually here. I understand in this realm of your world, and I know that
Dude,
person does it, but no.
We did a 7 a.m. flight.
He was wasted.
Well, no, he was totally normal, but he was 6 or 7 vodkas in.
Yeah, no, I can't.
He picked me up at my house with a 32-ounce styrofoam cup packed with ice. I'm like, what's that? And he was like, it's fucking vodka soda. I was
what do you mean?
It's like, and this is like 6:15 in the morning.
Perfect.
And then we go to the airport, and he kills it. And then he's like, "You didn't want?" I'm like, "No, I'm good."
You didn't want any?
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Right. And then we get in the airport where they all know him. They're like, "Hey, Bert!" And we walk into a bar. They're like, "Bert!" And I was like, "That's cool."
At any airport USA,
like you just walk in, and then he was like, "Hey, let's get and make sure we get doubles." And I was like, "Jesus!" And then. I had one. I think he drank like 2 there.
Right.
We get on and he tells the flight attendant, "Hey, could you?" And then like just keep them coming. And they're like, "Okay." And drank the whole, the whole flight. Dude. Get in the car, go to the hotel, and immediately to the bar at the hotel. And he was fine,
perfectly fine.
And I go, "I'm gonna go take a nap. What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "I'll be right here." So.
What's one step beyond liver failure, right? When your liver fails,
it's death.
Is there another one?
No,
there's no in between.
There's no in between.
Because I just feel like how like somebody gets. I asked the other day. We knew someone that had dialysis. They had to have like kidney failure, and I was like, "How do you get kidney failure?" And I was the friend of a friend was trying to explain. And I was like, do you get it from liquor? Can you have kidney failure from liquor? Because that guy must have...
I don't know. I think...
Because kidneys clear out everything in your urine.
Yeah, they do.
So that's got to be... It filters through the liver and then the kidneys. So if I got kidney failure or liver failure before him and I died, I know God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about all that stuff.
That's totally accurate.
When somebody's like, you believe in God? I'm like, if I die of a thing that someone does more than me...
Yeah.
No.
I think maybe he has incredible genetics. Maybe.
I get this sentiment that people push around, like this Mickey Mantle joke or whatever, but also, no, there's something going on. Like, his body is already done.
Yeah.
And now it's like Weekend at Bernie's through life. It's just like,
it could be.
It just keep going. There's a little mouse in there on a wheel, just like trying to just operate his whole, and he's just like, this big balloon of a person.
In 10 years, he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to come clean. We're like, what? He's like, I've been on steroids for like 30 years. We're like, what?
Yeah, he's been juicing.
What?
He's like, the HGH really balances out all the liquor. Or he comes clean. He's like, it hasn't been liquor the whole time.
The whole time it's water.
I'm just faking you guys, dude.
Party.
That's like, have you ever done drugs at a party with someone that they do so much that you're like, how are they still so level and they did so much more than me?
No, I know Joey Diaz. Yeah.
yeah, dude, you're like, how can you? It almost makes me feel like he didn't take the dose. Because you're like, there's no way.
But the funny thing is, one time, I've said it before, but like, I've done edibles with Joey where I'm like, I feel like I'm definitely gonna commit suicide.
Oh, dude,
right now.
bad idea.
And then I go, so do you like? I'm like, did you not get fucked up? And he's like, I had 3 panic attacks. I'm like, oh, so like he
likes
but he likes going there. I know another guy who has, you know, those guys that like have devices, like apparatus, like they build things to smoke weed out of.
It's
like,
cute.
You don't just like,
it's cute.
You can't just light it on fire.
No.
So it's a whole system, and like there's heat, and I pull a valve and something lowers down. And you're like, this is to smoke weed? And this dude had this thing, and I took one hit and I was like fucking freaking out, right? Yep. And I was like, that was horrible. Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, yeah, the thing is, I guess you don't feel that panic. He goes, no, I do. And I look to go there. I want to go there. I go, you want to feel panic?
That's a sick person.
Yeah, man.
They make a Rube Goldberg machine to smoke weed. It's like a car hits a marble, hits a bowling ball, and then it lights and then lights light up, and then their right music kicks on. They're like, now you can take a knife hit. And then you take it. You're like, dude, we could have just smoked a little bit of a joint and walked.
And they'll get mad, by the way. They get mad at you mocking what they do.
100%.
They're like, sorry, we have fun.
I mean, it's fun, man. It's just a little excessive. I'm a guy, so I've all but really stopped smoking a heavy amount of marijuana. Like, I smoke once in a while at my house by myself. Like, literally, I don't do I just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But when I was smoking weed a lot, I started to find that like people were getting too in it, and it made me feel sad about it.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this is just a little
It's a weird thing. Identity. When
it's
someone's
strange,
like, you ever go to an Instagram page and you're like, okay, pictures of weed, pictures of joints, pictures of you high. This is just who you are.
That's all you are.
That's what you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're funny about it. Like, do you know who Dabbin' Granny is? Mm-mm. Oh, bro. Dabbin' Granny is this woman. You need to see her. I love her. She's hilarious.
Oh, she's like grandma that smokes?
She does dabs. But she does dabs all day long. And you know the intensity of dabs.
Yeah.
Right? Like the concentrate. Yeah. This woman is so funny to me.
Damn.
She's cool. We've connected on Instagram before, and she's really cool. But like, I mean, she is a senior citizen who can outrip anybody. I would love to see her versus Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
She's cool. She's like, hey, what's up?
Actually, I feel like it's Joey with a wig, right? I'm not even listening. Dude, this is totally his body language.
It's
dude,
Joey with
it is totally.
So she does it, but dude, she'll do this. She'll post. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Look at how many times.
Oh my God. And what? She's never even.
Oh, it's no big deal. Then she'll do a post video afterwards,
no cough,
just
right?
chatting and no,
a
little cough, and then she hits it again.
Yeah. Okay. And she's just ripped.
She's like, that was awesome.
See you later, cocksuckers.
But you'll look. Show me how many times. Can you see how many times she would post in one day? Like, if you look at that and look at the next one, like, I don't know if she does anymore, but dude, at one point
day?
She was posting like 3 of these a day.
Jesus.
So what she would be essentially, you're saying like, oh, she's doing dabs morning, noon, and night.
But this is a different level.
Oh yeah.
There is an entertainment value to it, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yes. This is cool. Yes. I think this is fun to me.
This is fun
because she has fun with it.
Yeah.
Versus someone that feels like dark and sad, and it's that's because the difference.
There's a personality type that if they get really into weed, it just like it like deadens the person. You know what I mean? It
100%.
subdues them.
Yeah.
And they're
this
like,
guy.
Yeah. And you're like,
they float into nothingness.
And they're like, this is what I do. And
you're like, no, you could do that by yourself then, man.
Man, you don't want to.
Just get out of my house again.
Yeah.
No, see, but that like that kind of thing, I like that vibe is what I looked for in weed. But I started to find that like people I'd get high with, it just kind of became like, either too involved or monotonous, or they wanted to. I didn't want to do concentrates or smoke hash, and I didn't need to level up. Smoking a joint was fine for me.
Sure.
I don't know when the point when everybody's like, but do you want to get a panic attack?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'd want to just get a little stoned and go hang out with you.
It's like I talk about it a lot that like I like mild edibles.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, but for why? And I'm like, because man, I like a buzz.
Yeah.
Like the fun thing is like, if I had one right now, I could podcast with you. If you give me a fucking 100, 250, I'll be like, all right, I got to go lay down, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
I'm going to chew this table.
Yeah.
What it's like saying basically is when someone's like, why don't you want a really strong edible? It's like, because when I go out to have a couple of drinks, I don't want to chip my teeth.
Right.
Like I don't want to black out so hard at the bar like that I'm just throwing up like,
you like a drink.
Yes, I like to have a couple of drinks and hang out.
It's like
that's my
It's why I don't drink a bottle of tequila when I go out.
Right.
You know?
That's the same thing. So you don't want to take a 400 milligram?
Yeah.
Joey tried to get me to do one of those 10,000s or whatever.
His stars of death?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
really
name
are.
is rude.
Oh, God.
Star of Death?
One time, dude, he goes, eat this. And I go, there's not a fucking chance.
Nah.
And so he cut a corner off of the star.
Like a little piece.
A little piece. He's like, you can eat that, you bitch. And I was like, sure. So I ate it.
Yeah.
We podcast for, I don't know, a while. And then at the end of the podcast, I go, I feel a little stoned.
Yeah.
And then I get in my car and I start to drive. And as I'm driving, I realized I drove past the exit and I was like, oh. And I have the navigation going and it's like, turn around and make a left now. So I turn around, I drive past it again. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, and so then I'm like, oh, I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
And so then I just drive and I pull into a Ralph's parking lot that's
Safe
like
space.
2 blocks from him.
Safe space.
Dude, I park and I look to my right and Dice is just looking at me in the next car. And he was like, and I was like, oh.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was like, oh my God. And he's just looking at me. I don't know him. I just know who he is.
Sure.
You know? So I was like, and like panicking. And I was like, is this part of being a stone? Like Dice? And then I ended up calling an Uber.
Oh, seriously? And leaving your car at Ralph's?
At Ralph's for like...
I wanted Dice to roll down his window and just be like, did Joey give you that piece of the star too? You have to end up at the Ralph's parking lot somehow.
You look like a fucking monkey. And I'm like, okay. Sorry, man.
Why grocery store parking lots seem to be some safe haven?
That did feel safe. It felt comfortable.
I don't know why. It's just because it's, well, like the one, I always pass the pavilions when I was shooting the show. I would pass pavilions every day on Melrose or something like that. It's where Artie Lang got arrested with crack and that hooker. Do you remember that story? Remember that?
No.
He got busted buying crack off of like a prostitute in the pavilions. But I thought it was so cool because pavilions is like a little bit nicer than Ralph's.
Yeah.
It's cool to get crack at a place that's like just above your normal grocery
pavilions
store.
is definitely nicer.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's like Whole Foods crack would be cool.
Yeah. Gelson's would be nice.
Gelson's cool. Well, I mean, come on.
Come on. At the salad bar? It's fucking fantastic.
You want some croutons, man? And you're like, I do.
That's the code. Hey.
That's the shakedown at Ralph. No, but I pass it all the time, and I think it.
Did you ever do crack? You ever smoke crack?
I never did crack.
Did you do coke?
I've never done coke.
No?
Never done
you
coke.
have like, I would believe that you have, you know
Everybody
what I mean?
says that. Well, that's because my brain is already on like full fire mode.
Yes, you're fully fucking...
I never did coke. I've only done weed and ecstasy back when it was ecstasy.
Yeah.
I've done Molly in the present day. I've done mushrooms. I've done acid. I've done DMT once. And,
really?
Yeah.
Are you a big psychedelic guy?
Did not love it. No, did not love it.
What was the experience like?
Too much. Too much.
Intense?
I think
was
the
it like a
words are just
super LSD experience? Is it like...
It just felt like, well, at least with like acid, it's like, acid's a long burn. So you can kind of like walk yourself. You know what I feel like? It's like when you do a long set and a couple of jokes are going okay, but then you're like, I can get this. I know where I'm going to get this back.
Yeah.
That's what long trips feel like to me, where you're like, there might be a couple of bumps, but you're like, I'm going to get him back, watch.
Yeah.
But with like really short, intense things, like what the DMT did for me, it was like so intense. It was like I had to do 2 minutes, you know what I mean, in front of, legends of stand-up or something. They're all judging me. And I got to do it this fast. I can't handle all that intensity.
So it's super short and intense.
It was for me. It was quite short. It was very quick. I mean, I guess the height of it was extremely fast.
I want to try ayahuasca.
Yeah, I know. Neil's trying to get me to do that all the time. Look, I want to do it too, but also I'm fucking scared.
That's kind of why I want to do it.
Because it's scary as shit.
I feel like it's a little scary, and that's why, like...
There's always people that are like, who cares? And you're like, well, I want to keep my brain somewhat here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I do see the guy under the freeway sometimes. And I go, that's me if ayahuasca doesn't go right. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. It's that
That'd
easy.
be crazy if he said it. You know,
if he just
up,
turns.
you roll down your window, he's like, ayahuasca, man.
No!
Too much.
I mean, it's because I already have a sleeping bag in my garage. Like, I already have all the things that they have.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just
It's
one
right
step
there.
away from being like,
Yeah.
getting kicked out of my house. And, you know, she's like, hey, take the bag, go live under the bridge until you figure this out.
She's so not taking you back.
Nah,
after
fuck that.
That's
No
over.
way. You
Yeah.
you blew your own brain up. I'm scared of it. But I do want to try it because of that same factor, right? Like, we're scared. We want to do it because you're a little freaked out by it.
I'm a little freaked out by it.
Yeah.
I've had, you know, some trips before, and then people describing. I mean, it could be the thing where you do it and you're like, oh, it wasn't what I thought.
Yeah.
But a number of people have said it's just an incredible experience. And
Most people say, well, the whole idea, like you meet God or whatever, you know, that's like a constant theme that comes up, that you meet God. But like, I don't know if I want to.
yeah.
God. I want to meet I guess I want, I
Plus,
don't know.
you work with Bobby already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's already there with me every single day of my life. The most torturous human being on
God,
planet
what is
Earth.
that like?
It's
man?
awful. It's disgusting. It's comparable to you and the Bears guy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Bobby is a wonderful little specimen that I can't quite wrap my head around, who might be 70 or 80.
Yeah, he might be.
Online, people are like, he's going to be 50 soon. And I'm like, when you're around him enough, you can feel that he might be 80.
Yeah.
Because he's just got that, like, I've been here before.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I've done every gross thing, and I'm gross. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
See, he's already lived so many lives.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I don't even know how little Chinese or whatever he is people live. I don't know how long they get to live
And
for.
also, it's like, dude, how much trauma have you been through? Like,
All of it. He got
Yeah.
to bank all of it at one time, by the way. Like
Jesus.
assault, and he's been physically and sexually assaulted. It's really good for gaining social points. I think that's what he did. I think he might have done that on purpose.
Gotten molested?
Yeah, because he wanted social points. He's like, one day I'm going to be a podcaster and this is all going to help.
Yeah.
He is
And he's like 40% gay or something?
41.
Yeah.
Bi, 41% bi. We're not allowed to say.
Oh, right.
We're not allowed to say gay specifically
Yeah.
because of what's, you know.
Do you think he's attracted to you?
You know, I think who would I think in the comedy community would be his type?
Yeah.
I'm not it. I think he likes the masculine in me. I think he likes that I'm dominatory.
Yeah.
But I think, like, what guy would he like hook up with?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like, somebody like Jimmy Schubert, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like a specific reference.
That's a real specific type. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Somebody like, I think he'd get with somebody like a Court McCown or one of those.
Oh,
like,
handsome guys.
Handsome guy. Like, he'd want like a handsome guy that does have feelings.
Yeah.
He doesn't want a tough, rumble, mean guy. He
Right.
wants like a cute, sweet.
He would be too intimidated by that, probably.
Yeah. Like he'd be scared of you, but he'd be into the intensity
Yeah.
because you're too much of a guy.
Yeah, dude.
You're a guy.
I also feel like I would fuck the shit out of him.
You would pound him. You would ground and pound. You would ground and pound. You'd murder that guy. You would absolutely destroy his little body.
He's so fun.
Well, it's funny because he's fat in the front, but his butt's so small. So it'd be so easy to just rip it and dip it. It'd be
Dip it.
just too easy.
And people have been in there. So
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
yeah.
It's not an
already
unused
greased.
cavern. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already way greased up. He's great. His energy is what gets me through the day. Honestly, sometimes I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I go in there and he makes it worse, but it helps comedy-wise.
Sure.
It's interesting how that, like with you, do you ever find when you come in here, when you guys aren't on like the same page?
Yeah.
And then it almost helps the comedy to be like so either annoyed with each other or a little bit off.
The thing about so Bert is basically all light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his personality type is lightness.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's because
much.
I think he's dying very soon.
Very soon.
So
yeah,
it's
so
like
the
the
light
body's like
is
just
shining through.
It's like
Yeah.
they're
Yes.
like, come on, Bert. He's like, one second.
Yeah.
Let me pound this 48 ouncer. You know?
No, but he actually is a joy to be around.
Yeah, he is.
And Bobby is too. Like he really amuses me in the same kind of way.
Yeah.
Like where you go, I mean, they're different. Like Bert and him are definitely different types.
Sure.
But they both have there's a sweetness to them. And I find it endearing.
In the same way that like, not everyone with Down syndrome is the same person, but they're alike.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
They have a same kind of loveliness to them.
They do.
They're lovely.
And you're
know?
like, this brightened my day.
Right. And I'm not saying that Down syndrome has anything to do with, I'm not
Bobby
making fun of
and
mental
Bert.
disabilities. I'm just saying the way that people with Down syndrome all kind of have the same vibe.
Yeah.
These guys do too.
Right. And it can brighten your day.
It does brighten your
Yeah.
day. And again, I'm not saying that they are Down syndrome. They have Down syndrome. But it's the same thing.
Essentially.
100% it's the same thing.
Yeah. I have to say I agree.
They're really nice kids.
Yeah. No.
By the way, speaking of kids, I know you don't really talk about your kids anymore after the murder, but you know, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but they're still mine, and I want to raise them.
Okay.
And you know, she was a good mom while she was around.
Christina. Yeah, that's really sad that she's gone. She was really a great comedian too.
She was great. She was really great. That'd be so. I think about it all the time.
How about killing your wife?
No, just what. I just think about what life would be like if she were dead, like all the time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I bet she loves that.
And then I also think about what life would be like if I'm dead.
Right.
I think I'm 42 now, so it's like
you're getting close.
You start thinking about
Yeah.
Oh man, like this ride doesn't last that much longer.
Do you really think about the end?
Yeah, sometimes.
You're nowhere near it.
No, I don't think about what'll if I live to be 80, what will it be like?
Sure.
I think about what if I die today?
What's going to happen to my family?
Yeah, I think about that,
Right.
Or I think about because we'll joke about it, but then I'll be like, oh, what if she did die? I'm like, what would I even fucking do?
Yeah, what would you do though?
Well, I mean, I start thinking about the little things. I go like, well, I can't leave my boys,
No, yeah.
Because we take turns. No, but I'm like, then do I have do I bring them with me when I travel? Like you start thinking about those scenarios, and then I'm like, what fucking floozy would I hook up with? And do I let her meet the kids right away? No, you got to keep her. You
got to keep her at bay, right? That's a whole thing. That dance of like, when do they get to meet? Yeah. And then how do they? Some people have really good relationships with that. I just talked about this too, about how it's impressive sometimes when people are still friends with their exes. Yeah. And then they have a relationship because they have kids or something.
Yeah, that's another one that's
hard for me.
That's strange is you ever have somebody tell you about like a terrible relationship, right? Mm-hmm. They just I dated this person and then they tell you that and you're like, wow, that sucks. Well, good thing. And then they're like, yeah, we're good friends now. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, how? I never understood that.
You just told me a terrible story.
Yeah, he's a bad piece of shit person, but also we're still friends.
We're still friends.
We still respect each other.
We talk a lot, and I think I love him. Like, what?
Yeah, I think that I never, I wouldn't say I'm like, it's not like you're not friends with your exes, but it's like you kind of just grown up and moved on. But when I find that people that are exes that are still really close, it's super weird and toxic.
I had a conversation with an ex semi-recently.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he say? He
was like, are you still strong?
Could you still bench me?
No, it was only like strange because it was so unexpected. It was so unexpected.
Like they called you?
No, I called them to pitch a bit.
Wait, why though?
Because I wanted to do a bit. I don't want to tell you the whole bit.
Well, sure, but was the bit including them?
Yes.
So it's permission.
Yeah.
It was like, you're cool with this, right?
Yeah, are you cool with us doing this bit?
Right.
And at first she was like, what? I was like, oh yeah, I know it's been like a dozen years.
That being said, it's a funny fucking
bit. And then you realize, like, if I call you for a bit, you're a comedian and you make content and you like, I don't have to, I can speak a shorthand with you. Here's the bit.
I'll get it. Yeah, I'll go, yes.
So I say it to this person and she was like, huh? And I was like, oh yeah, you gotta like really explain it, but I'm poorly explaining it.
Right, right.
I'm used to talking to comics and stuff. So I'm like, it's a bit like I do this and then you'll be on camera. And she's like, I don't think I'm the person for this.
You're like,
I was like,
it's about you.
I go, we'll make me look dumb. It's the joke will be about me.
Right.
And I go, I'm not asking you to like say nice, like we'll purposely make fun of me. That'll be the joke. And then I she started to come around to it. And then she was like telling me, you were a good boyfriend. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh cool. And then
she's like, how's your wife?
Yeah.
She starts to pry. Is everything okay? Yes. Do you think maybe we could meet up for lunch?
Oh yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah, it got weird, man.
So are you gonna use the bit though?
Well, no. So then I was like, at the end of the call, I go, so I mean, would you consider? She's like, I'll think about it, but we have to talk again.
Oh, see, yeah, no, you're getting trapped. Yeah, you're getting baited.
Okay, so then I killed the bit.
You've met that floozy in case Christina dies, I guess. You can always go back to the well.
Yeah.
You know what that water tastes like.
I do.
You know what I mean? You're like...
But I think I want to try some new flavors. You know what I mean?
I want to chase new rivers.
Let's say your wife.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody, breaks her neck today. So,
yeah.
Like, what would you do?
Well, this is we've joked about this before of like, if we're not the death thing, no, but the paralyzed thing, that's been a talk we've had a bunch.
Sure.
You know, like what if because we got into a bad car accident together. A woman smoked us. Some woman smoked us like 2 years ago, and it hit on her side. It hit the passenger side. So luckily we both were fine, but afterwards we were talking about it. We were like, what if that like paralyzed you? Like, because I was fine, or like vice versa. And she was like, what would you do? Like, would you stick around? Would you take care of me? You know? And of course it's like, no. You know what I mean? That's just an obvious answer.
Yeah. Well, you're such a burden at this point. Like, where's the upside?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, do I get paid from the state? I mean, if I get a little bit of money from the state, I could. Yeah. But we talked about how like couples really do have to suffer through that. You hear these stories. They're not uncommon where it's creepy like that. And I'm like, yeah, of course you would. But, and then she made the joke. She was like, look, if, you know, I was incapacitated, obviously I would take care of her because I love her, but she's like, if you needed to get hookers, you could. Yeah she was like, she's like I would never fault you for that. And of course I was like, if I was fully paralyzed and incapacitated, if you got like a male hooker or just a guy friend to come fuck you sometimes, I'd kill you, I'd shoot you both. I would have a range to get you killed.
Dude, we literally have the same thoughts. Because Christina basically told me because we were talking about, you know, all these like poly and open marriages and stuff. She goes, the only time I would ever give you the green light to have sex while I'm with you is if I'm paralyzed and I can't participate. Yeah. And I was like, oh, really? And she goes, yeah, because I know you have needs and you could go and like, you'd be with me, but you could go have sex outside the house. And I'm like, yes. And then, and she's like, and then, you know, I assume you feel the same way. And I go, 100% no. Not a chance. I go, I would basically do rehab just to kill you. Like I would just work. I would be like,
you're that guy in those things they're trying to make walk again. They're like, Tom, you can't walk. And you're like, watch me.
Yeah. And they're like, how come you only want to work with the rope? And I'd be like, no. Like,
and you're pulling up your body weight every day. Like, getting stronger.
And she's like, I had a date tonight.
No, I told her, I said, yeah, if that was the case, obviously, I said, I would get it. I would how can you? Yeah. You could never fault someone if it's like they needed to move on from that stuff, because I always feel bad when I see those stories when they're like, oh my God, they have to take care of this person who's completely incapacitated, so they're sacrificing everything for them, and you're like, you know, I totally understand why they're like, I'm gonna need to go, but that's why I think she said hookers, right? That was the difference.
Not like date,
exactly. That's the difference, because they want you to still be in love with them while they're alive. Yes. Obviously that makes sense, but that is, to me, is the most logical solution. She's like, pay somebody for the sex, so then it's disconnected,
and then you're not having an emotional betrayal,
right? They're like, just pay for them while I'm paralyzed, and then come back and give me my applesauce. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
But how funny, she's like, huh? You know, and you're getting a blowjob, you're like, 1 second.
At least you can't walk in the room, you know? Right? You can be like, I'll be right
there. She rolls in. What are you guys doing?
With the eye on the board. W-H-A-T, and you're like, speed it up.
And the prostitute's like, what? Like, no,
you're good. You're
talking to
her. Oh, shit.
Oh no, I can't believe my eyes. Why? How could you do this to me? Those machines, dude, we're like on Mars, and they can't get those things to sound human.
How?
Why?
I don't know.
We're so advanced, and that still sounds like it. You're like, how? True. You can't figure that out?
Yeah, why can't they do the fucking navigation voice in it?
100%. Yeah, 100%. They don't want to do that. Elon Musk, get on it, by the way.
Yeah, dude, you can have Morgan Freeman tell you to make a right turn on Topanga. Yeah. Like, but you can't have a fucking $100,000 wheelchair that doesn't want to be there. It's fucking ridiculous.
By the way, Morgan Freeman catching her, that would be great. But she rolls in. He's like, well, you getting your cock sucked. Dude, speaking of Elon Musk, I just reinvested in this guy again. I can't stop. We did this, we got at our studio, you know, Starlink technology.
What is that?
He's like sending satellites for internet to space. Do you know this? We suckered. We bought in. You bought
in?
Yeah, we were like, I want to try it because it's supposed to be like the fastest. Do you know about this, Nadav? Do you know about this stuff?
No.
See there's like satellites that internet satellite that
Look
now.
Look it up. Starlink?
I think it's called Starlink. I don't know.
And it's his?
He's one of the main investors in this new company. It's like, satellite internet. Yeah, SpaceX. See? Yeah, they're developing this. So we ordered this thing. Essentially, it's like, it's going to be
at home or at office?
We want to try it at the office first, and then I want to get it at my house.
And you just tried it?
Yeah, we signed up for it. It's like a preset. Like you sign up to be a part of it, and then it comes out, I think, in the summer. But again, I'm a sucker.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a sucker. Yeah.
Anything that's like a cool
Why not?
gadget, or anything. If Elon's like, I farted into a cup, I'd be like, that sounds cool.
Can I smell the cup?
Yeah.
No, but because apparently it's supposed to be like the most incredible service that we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
By the way, a friend of mine, this is not a comedy piece, obviously, at all, but like a good friend of mine who I went to high school with worked at Google. And I was like, oh, what's like the most emerging technology that you guys are working on? And he was like, check this the fuck out. We have satellites, kind of like what this technology was, but this was years ago. He's like, we have satellites that are hovering over countries that, need medical help and technology, third world and second world countries. He's like, and they're hovering internet satellites, basically like hovering cloud satellites over these countries, and they're there and they move from place to place to place. He's like, so we can kind of realign them all the time. I'm like, well, you guys are just UFO drone botting all over the place. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, in the future, in the next couple of decades, that's all that this will be drone bot satellite technology for both like internet deliveries, information exchange, medical supplies, all that shit.
Can you imagine just what will be the norm in 25 years, which is nothing in terms of like, time on Earth. Yeah. 25 years from now, this will be unrecognizable.
I know. I think about that all the time. Like what's going to be because when he was saying that, I thought, oh, that seems pretty simple. But then I kept thinking about it. I was like, so these are just mobile satellites that you guys continually move to change internet reception to get supplies and information. He's like, oh yeah, it's like a big grid to them now.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's fucked.
Dude, I keep thinking about, because we both like cars.
Yes.
That, obviously there's this.
Did you see my Nissan Sentra, by the way?
It's fucking fire.
It's a fucking four-banger.
Fire. Yeah. And green, great color,
bright
bro.
green, actually.
Green.
Yeah.
That we're going towards electric. Like it's some of it is mandated. There's announcements. Companies are like, we're just gonna make them.
I know.
And then I go, well, like, will we be able to keep our gas-powered stuff? Will we be able to get gasoline? Like at some point?
That's actually a really good call. I haven't even thought about it like that. Well, because yes, there always is gonna be a demand for fossil fuel in some regard, but I wonder how. Yeah, like I wonder how that's going to be a rich guy premium.
Yeah, what if they're like, you want to fill up your car? Yeah, it's $5,000.
Like, and then at some point, really rich guys are just like, fine. It's just an inconvenient.
Or gas powered will only be at a private driving club. You know what I mean? Like that'll
totally. Well, like what about boats? What do you, they're never going to stop doing gas boats, right?
That's true.
Can you do electric boats? Am I stupid?
I don't know.
There's no chance they can power that.
I have no idea. Are there electric boats?
Because the sheer amount of weight of a boat the amount of batteries you'd have on there would be insane.
Like it would, yeah.
Right? Hybrid electric boats. No, see, those all seem like little bitch ass boats.
What's that?
You certainly couldn't power like a yacht, or you know what I mean? Like there's just too much weight.
I mean, everything you think we can't do, watch, someone's going to be like, you fucking idiots didn't know that there's electric boats.
See, but look at how small those are. Those are like 12 footers, 15
You're
footers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a 100-foot yacht?
It's impossible. The sheer mass of those things.
Yeah.
Like David Geffen's yacht. Do you remember that when the pandemic started? Look up this photo. This is so funny to me. Right when the pandemic kicked off, and everyone's like losing their minds. They're like, Italy is dead, and everything is on fire. David Geffen put up a picture on his Instagram. He pulled down of him on his fucking like 300-foot yacht, being like, "Stay safe, everybody." It was so cool. It was so fucking cool.
Shit.
He got a lot of shit for it, but he put up a picture of it. There, that's I don't know. You'll see it. It'll say Instagram post like that. Up left. Billionaire David Geffen draws fury for. Look at that size of that fucking boat.
Oh my God.
It's a small city. He's like, take it easy.
That link.
It was so cool. And then he ripped it down from his gram because he was embarrassed about it.
On his $590 million super yacht.
Couple of bucks.
What in the fuck, man?
Couple of bucks. We see you're using an ad blocker.
Yeah, we're good.
Anyway, the point is, how baller though to just be like, hey man, good luck with the virus thing.
Yeah.
I got a town. I have a small town here on the water.
Out in the water. Jesus.
So that guy, that's the point. That's why gas will never go away.
Do you think like, because for sure there's a like really strict non-disclosure and like no communication, that like the crew is like, can I call my mom? And he's like, no, fuckhead.
You have parents still?
No.
You join my crew, you get rid of your family.
You get rid of your family.
Yeah, I just think that
and
like
you make poached eggs
all day. That's all I want.
All I want.
I only want poached eggs. I think that's why that you can't get rid of like fossil fuels and gas and stuff like that. I'm sure practically they can take care of it, but that kind of stuff. And also, by the way, yes, as a car guy, look, I've driven the electrics. They're cool.
They're cool as shit.
I just like the metal.
I still do too.
The metal feels real.
And then people are like, every time you say it, I feel like electric, advocates are like, but have you driven one? I go, I just said yes.
Yeah, I told you.
A few.
I've driven all of them. In fact, the premier ones that you guys want me to drive, I drove them.
And it's cool.
They're cool.
Yeah,
but they're not raw. I want to smell burning dinosaurs.
Yeah,
as I'm flying up the freeway.
And like, even though it's a different experience, like that feeling of like, oh my God, and you're flying.
Yeah.
I still want to hear. I want to hear the rumble, man.
Right, and they're trying to duplicate it. See, there's a lot of car companies now are doing that trick where they put in ad noise. Polestar, I think, has tried that. Polestar and the other one.
BMW did this a few years ago for when they had a new like M series come out.
Yeah,
it was M3s and the new models, like new versions came out. They were like, oh, we have we don't have the same exhaust note, but we'll pipe it through the speakers.
Yeah, I heard about that. Ugh. That's so weird.
That is so strange.
I don't want to listen to it through the dashboard.
No, I want it like outside the car, the exhaust.
Here's my shout out to BMW, and now we're getting into car talk, but here's my criticism, I should say, of BMW.
Yeah.
Change the inside. Mm-hmm. It's been 30 fucking years. It's looked the same for 30 fucking years. And I like BMW. I'm not trying to shit on the company, but like, the one thing that other car companies of the similar status have done, Mercedes has remarkably changed the inside of their vehicle.
Yeah.
They went from old man fucking car that I used to mock constantly. Like they make shit interior
to that dash
to that beautiful. Now it's all digital dashes.
It looks dope.
Even on their cheapest cars, even on the CLA 250 or whatever the lowest is, they still have really nice interiors. BMW has managed to have the same fucking interior that I had when I had a 1985 325e.
Really?
Yes, it's almost the exact same car. Like almost nothing has changed, and the little and the throttle shifter there, it's a little dildo. It's a little dildo.
It is.
Please get rid of the little dildo in the center. Just make it a button. By the way, no one needs to we don't actually put it in gear in an automatic vehicle.
Right.
Just make it a fucking button.
I agree.
I don't need to even feel like it's Mercedes
like
does this thing.
I hate that.
It's so stupid. Just fucking park drive.
Yeah.
That's where electric cars have gotten it right. The simplicity of a lot of it.
That crazy McLaren out there.
Yeah.
Just push the button.
Push a button.
Yep.
I don't need the fake, putting it in drive. It's not an Oldsmobile. I'm not like.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, no, I don't. Those are the things that I would just, if they listen to dumb guys like us who know almost nothing about car engineering.
Nothing about engineering.
No.
Nothing. Yeah.
This is what we want.
Yeah. And make it louder.
I drove the Tesla, and I wanted to drive the Plaid, the Plaid Plus.
Yeah.
But have you seen the steering wheel on this fucking thing?
Mm-mm.
Bring up Plaid Plus a steering wheel. This is embarrassing.
Wait, so you test drove this?
No, I signed up to test drive it. I've driven the top one, but the Plaid Plus is not out yet. Look at the inside there. Click on that. Look at how they tried to do a racing steering wheel.
Oh.
Zoom in do a racing steering wheel on an electric car.
Can you make that bigger?
Pinch and zoom. Nadav, how many years have you been fucking working here? Just pinch and zoom. This guy, it's insane. There it is. Look at that. So the top half is gone.
Oh, so you feel like you're like in an F1 car?
Yeah, but you're not. You're in a four-door Tesla. So
you signed up to...
I want to test this to feel it, because the Plaid is this is the sub 2 car. This is the 1.98 seconds.
Is this what does it look like on the outside? Go back.
Identical to the S.
Oh, it is?
Nothing is different.
Oh, wow. So, okay, that's what it looks like.
It's identical to the S.
And this is sub 2?
Sub 2. This is the comparison track times that the Roadster has, which they put out.
Yeah.
The Roadster, I think they got.
Is the Roadster out?
It's at the end of this year. I think it was pre-order, but it was 189 was their fastest test. I think
that is so fucking.
It's
fast.
absurd.
That is so.
But yeah,
fast.
there it is right there. But the Plaid Plus is their sedan that goes 1.98 or 1.99.
I test drove the Taycan Turbo S, which is hilarious.
Oh, did you like it?
It was very cool.
Yeah.
And the guy told me, he goes, "Hey, you're gonna launch it, so put your head back." On the headrest.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then he walked away, and I was like. And I floored it. I was like, I fucking hit my head so hard. I was like, oh yeah, you just told me.
You get out, he hands you one of those neck things. Dude, you're like, yeah, no, the car was great.
Absolutely incredible. I mean,
yeah, that car is cool.
It's fucking rad, dude.
Well, the Audi e-tron GT, same body, same frame, just Porsche difference.
Yeah.
So I know a guy that has this, and I know a guy that's on the list to get the other one, and I was like, what is the big deal? And literally, they were like, oh, it's if you want Porsche interior versus Audi interior, because it's the same it's the same batteries.
It's
it's a beautiful car.
They do, I don't know, Porsche does everything like engineering wise, they just get it right. I feel like so.
I know.
Often.
If I had the money and I was really gonna do it, to this day, a buddy I know got a Turbo S, and I was like, that's the car. It's just like the coolest car I've ever seen.
So fast.
Yeah,
that for a gas powered car. I mean, I think that was like 2.5. Which it's so unnecessarily fast.
Yep.
And it looks stunning.
Yeah.
So quick. I mean, yeah.
The only reason for me to get a nicer car as I go on, if I do start getting like really, really fancy cars, is because when I die in them, you want to die in a cool car.
Yes.
You don't want to die in a sad car.
That car outside.
Yeah, you die in that.
Dude, that you're on the news.
Sick. So sick.
Like,
McLaren's main page website. Tom died in this.
My kids will be like, have you seen this photo of my dad? It's pretty crazy.
By the way, and some news sources don't have a photo of you, so they superimpose the basketball photo of you inside the vehicle like that.
But by the way, that meme's already done.
I know.
It's already done.
It's insane.
No, dude, this is actually sad, but earlier, it was last year, some kid in a McLaren fucking drove into, and it was on Bert Street. It was on his street.
Was it Bert's fault?
Could have been.
He takes his shirt off. He's like, right.
And the guy looks. He's like, like right into a fucking light post.
Bert's the first on the news. Dude, he's like, dude, it was fucking sick.
He didn't really know me, but I was like, hey, man.
He knows me now, dude.
Oh, yeah. He knew you for that second, for sure.
That kid clipped a McLaren on his road.
Yeah, or like at the intersection down. I think it was in a 570 or a 610.
Either way, too fast.
So fast down that. I mean, these things are just scary fast.
Do you feel unsafe?
Here's the thing. When you drive these, it doesn't want to go 70. Like, right. So
right.
Like you hit and the car's like, come the fuck on.
Yeah,
like,
man
come
up.
on, man.
Yeah, push it.
And then when you actually hit it and you feel it, you're like, oh my God. And you realize that it's all about choices in that moment. Like if you want just that acceleration to continue, it's happy to oblige, and then you're wrapped around a fucking tree, So,
but in a cool car, that should be their ass.
And a cool death. Yeah, yeah.
They're like, McLaren, do you want to get wrapped up in a cool tree?
McLaren, look cool when you die. Yeah.
I do think about that. Of like, there was a car. I wish I have the photo still. The other night, I was coming home, back over the hill. And I was like, oh, you're not going to believe this. I sent a text to my old lady. I was like, you won't fucking believe this. I'm literally at a dead stop and it's 11:30 at night on the fucking freeway. She was like, really? How? I was like, I don't know. Then I finally get up there and I'm like, oh my God, you can't really see it. I mean, you can. I'm just driving by it. That's a car on its side.
Whoa.
On the 101, on its side. And I was like, holy shit. And of course, I, like every other idiot, I'm like, oh, whoa, taking a photo like a moron. We're also going a mile an hour, but my immediate thought is like, that's on its side. The other car, obliterated.
Yeah.
Obliterated. Because if that big SUV is on it, that was a Range Rover.
Bro.
On its side. See you later, other car.
I've seen a number of wild accidents after.
Yeah.
But I've seen two things happen before. Like
live?
Live.
Oh shit.
One was that these cars were racing, like just coming up 95 from West Palm Beach heading north. And I'm like, oh man, these guys are flying, and it's night, so there's like not a lot of cars on the road,
right?
And when they passed us, it had to be doing over 100,
right?
And I was like, holy shit! And then, the road kind of turns, then you're going straight, and I saw lights like go up in the air, and then go away, and then come back, and I was like, oh, somebody hit a vehicle and sent it up in the air, and it did a flip.
Holy shit!
And then we pull up, and it's sitting on its roof.
Holy shit!
And we pull over and run out there, and it's on 95. I mean, it's a crazy highway to be running out to.
Yeah.
And we just look in, and there's people like laying around. I was like, you guys are all gonna die, man.
It's fucking. I was gonna say it's fucking Steve-O, and he's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah. No, they somebody crawled out, and another person was just like moaning, and they were like, let's get him out. And I was like, no, dude. I was like, don't touch him.
Dude, grab his arms as hard as you can.
But they came, and then one time, this was wild, I did a gig with Tommy Davidson, also in Palm Beach, and I'm coming up on 95.
Time out real fast.
Yeah.
You guys were like co-headlining or something?
No, I was opening for him.
Oh, this is back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
I was going to say.
And I'm driving up to my parents' place, and dude, it's like, because you think about, like what's it called? You walk in this door instead of that door. Like these just like little
split
moments.
decisions.
Yeah. And I'm just driving, let's say 65 instead of 70, which would have put me in front of this car instead of behind it. And this car exploded on 95.
What?
Like into a ball of fire. And I was like, and so we stop, and then everybody stops on this major highway. It's a little earlier. It's like, it's night, but it's not like midnight, you know? So it's probably like 8:39, like plenty of cars still out. So I'm like, oh shit, this is wild. And then, a fire truck comes, an ambulance, and then 2 more fire trucks, another ambulance, 16 police cars.
Jeez, they all just wanted to see it at some point.
And I'm just sitting here like, how long are we going to be here? And the guy's like, how long do you fucking think? Like, I was like, I don't know. And so then I go, I'm thinking about the fact that I have to the next day travel and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I get out. I mean, there's cars for miles. And I go up to a cop and I go, can I drive through this median, which has like a swoop, like a dip.
Right.
It's not flat. Right. Like go across and then start driving the other way, like towards Palm Beach, but then I can get off on an exit and take side roads. And he goes, yeah. I go, like, I'm not going to get in trouble. He's like, you might get stuck. And I go, oh, what if I get stuck? He goes, then you're stuck.
Right.
And I go,
not my problem.
Yeah. I go, well, you wouldn't help me out? And he goes, there's a car on fire. I was like, all right.
He's like, bro, is this even a conversation?
You see all this shit going on? Yeah. I was like, yeah, but what about my needs, man?
Yeah.
Like,
I need to get home.
I need to get home and get some sleep.
The guy's out of the car just like, bleeding out of his mouth.
Looking at the board.
Yeah.
Can you please help me?
Have you seen the video? This just came out too of this dude. This dude was in a Mustang and he must have narcolepsy or whatever, and he falls asleep. He passes out at the wheel. And dude, see if you can find this guy falls asleep in a Mustang. He misses hitting a telephone pole, which would have decapitated him. Yeah. Because he's passed out by like an inch.
And he has a camera on himself.
Like he's got the dash cams. Yeah, the over the shoulder dash cams. That's got to be it right there, bro. Not only does he miss dying, then the car's careening. It careens towards the fucking freeway again. And for some...
Is this it?
Yes. And for some reason, he fucking... Full screen, far right. Look at this. Okay, so he passes out. No. Yeah, you'll see. So you can see he's like kind of nodding off. I don't remember what it was. It'll probably tell in the story. But here, he's fucking gone. Okay, now watch this. Great. The head moves perfectly. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Telephone pole, telephone pole, telephone pole. Oh. Beyond lucky.
Oh, yeah.
So he's still going, by the way, 60 or 70 miles an hour. You can tell because the car is screeching sideways.
That truck's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So he's careening towards, because his foot's still on the gas. Now he's going towards the freeway, which is like, oh, okay, he slowed down enough, but he's going to hit oncoming traffic.
He's still on the gas.
But look, the wheel just turns away because that banked hill. And then hits this fucking fence again, gaining speed.
And he looks like, is he waking up?
Oh, yeah, now he woke up.
He's like, oh, God damn it.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, I got to get gas. Yeah. Before. Oh, I haven't seen this photo. Okay, yeah, we get the before.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know what it looks like before. That's it on the roof. That's nothing. But the front is what I want to see. That's it. Huh? Almost like not a lot of... This dude, by the way, but he hits that...
Oh, yeah, no, he fucked up.
Side. But if he hit that pole... Goodbye forever. Yeah. Watching it, you're like, oh, I'm going to watch a guy die.
What? Right? And his cam was here.
Over his shoulder. Yeah.
Also, can we revoke his license maybe?
Yeah, he's got to go. You can't do that anymore. We watched the show literally last night. We tried it. It was one of these like dating in your elderlies or whatever. Yeah. And these two old people, he goes to get his license.
Yeah.
And luckily other countries have a more vigorous test than we do, because here they're like, you're fine.
Dude, there's a video. Have you ever seen the video of it's an old guy leaving a country club?
Oh, no, let me see.
And he hits like 16 cars. I swear to God.
Just clipping everybody?
Just everything. Just hits everything. And he pulls out. Dude, it's an old guy who... you don't have to do old guy leaving country club hits a lot of... Jesus Christ.
It's remarkable.
How are you this bad at this?
You're taking him with you is the weird thing. Like he's a part of the staff forever, this guy.
Old guy leaving, just elderly man, parking lot hits. I mean.
Old guy, he's like old guy, blue shoes, with cane, hits cars. Dead after a parent, 92 hit 9 cars in the parking lot. Yeah, well, honestly, this could be so many stories.
Yeah, it really could be.
Look at this.
Okay, look.
It's always fun to watch old people hit stuff.
It is. So this it's crazy that this. Oh, which one? He's got to be.
And what do? You just let him go, huh? As a cop, you're like,
He's that one
what are you
backing
gonna
up.
do?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a veteran. You're like, oh fuck it, let him go.
Taking his time. Oh, he's gonna clip this one.
He's gonna hit the Saturn.
Oh my god! That's so fast. Oh,
the Jeep.
No.
Oh yeah, dude, get out of there.
Dude, I thought it was gonna be slow.
No, I like it. Get out of there. Oh, hit the truck too. Fuck yeah, dude.
I gotta go, man. The guy's like, what the fuck? Holy shit.
The coolest part is that guy for sure got away that day and didn't remember doing all that. He went home and had no idea.
Take us through your search thought.
Yeah, what was that? What could that have been?
You know, I hear Tom say a sentence that sounds like, oh, that kind of describes the situation, and I just plug that in. And, you know, granted, I should probably run it through a filter first, but I don't. It's from Tom's mouth to my
Remember when we talked about marijuana consumption about 20 minutes ago?
He's a big fan.
I know he is. Do you think that has anything to do with the way that you are?
Nah, I've been like this before weed.
Oh, okay, right. That's him forever then. That's just how he is. When Bobby and I were in here, he kept calling him Nevada, which I thought was wonderful.
That was good. And you called him something else. Nevada?
Jew. I don't even know what it was. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for me, guys. Thanks a lot. There goes my career. You know.
By the way, you're a really good actor. Do you like auditioning?
No.
Okay. I heard somebody's like, I've heard they're like, you know, they put a positive spin.
Hate it.
How do you like it?
No, hate it. I feel embarrassed. I feel stupid. I've never felt comfortable about it because, like, even if I know I'm good at the thing I'm about to do, you still feel it feels diminutive. It feels kind of like getting picked in kickball, where you're like waiting and you're just like, hey, what's up? I'm pretty good. You see my leg? It's pretty good.
You ever do the follow up? Like, hey, did they say anything? And they're like,
no, I don't do that shit. Yeah. No, fuck that. I don't ever want to know. Yeah. Honestly, and I've told my agents because my agent. At this point, I've known him for over a decade. Mm-hmm. We're straight up with each other.
Yeah.
He's a Midwest guy. Like, there is no, like, fodder anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want that thing anymore where, like, I don't need the lies. It's just like I'm beyond it. So I just say, tell me no.
I've tried to build a universe for myself where it's just direct speak. I mean, like, we're pleasant and cool, but, like, please
be real. Yeah. Just tell me yes and no to things. It's totally cool. Like, I'm not 22 and I'm not like bright-eyed and green where I'm like, so you said they really liked the way I did it, right? It's like, dude, to fucking go back to your studio apartment with 4 other people and go to sleep sad. Just figure it out. But I think that the one thing I do like about auditioning as I've gone on now, the one thing I do feel comfortable with is I'm long enough in my career where I run into the same people again. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see them, and the comfortability level is better of like, I just feel more like, I like this producer, or she's a great casting director, or he's a great, you know, it feels easier or better versus when you're at the beginning and it's daunting and there's 4 fucking people staring at you.
It's the one thing that changed is that in the pandemic, I only did a few auditions, but you know, before where you had to show up, like you had to go in, you're always like, God damn it, I got to go in, and how annoying that is. But the flip side is that when you're home and you can just like keep watching and be like, nope, let's shoot it again. Like, this is the 13th take. Yeah. You ready?
Well, but that's what it should be, I guess, right?
I think it should be, but then I'll be like, I liked everything but my fucking elbow on that one.
Right, the way I'm standing. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And you're because like, I'm always hand on hip. I'm like, hey, I'm Andrew Santino.
Yeah, and then like you go, well, in the script it has all this like picking up drinks and smoking, and you're like, I
don't do any of that shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I
say the words and get it over. I don't do like I've had so much experience like over trying. I ran into a kid that was like, he was like, hey man, I just want to tell you I'm a fan, and I'm a young actor and I just graduated, and and like, do you have any advice? And it was like really sweet. He was just really like, you could tell he was like excited about life. You know, he had that light in him, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, honestly, dude, don't try to do other people's shit. Just stick to your own shit when you go into audition, when you try, because he wanted to be an actor. And I said, just do your own shit. The idea that like you're always going to fulfill what they think you know what you think they need is impossible. That's what it's always been.
That's good advice.
You're never going to give them what you think they want. Just do what you think you do the best, and then they're going to say no. I said this to him. My wife was laughing. I go, they're going to say no all the time. I say, you're not going to get almost all of the jobs. Yeah. You're going to get like a few jobs. So just keep fucking moving. Right. The idea that actors are like, what if I book? It's like, you're not gonna. Yeah. In fact, you're definitely not gonna fucking book it.
Now, as somebody that works in both, don't you, like, because the few times that I've worked as an actor, I talk to the other actors, I'll be like, how do you deal with
that part?
That lifestyle? I go, like, at stand-up, the great thing is, like, no matter once you're like a working stand-up, you can be like, well, I need to go work.
Yeah.
You can just go work.
Right.
I go, so you just, and they go, yeah, just wait around. I'm like,
just sit. Yeah.
Does this make you crazy? And they're like, yeah. I'm like,
I don't get it. Well, that's why I think most actors are, they are kind of like,
they're kind of crazy.
They're loopy and they have to be in their own thing. They have to be their own creative process and all that shit. And that's why they're a little bit more, off their own edge. That's why, like, they're way more eccentric actors than stand-ups.
Yeah.
Right. There's way more, because stand-ups, you're like, yeah, there's eccentricity, but at deep down, they're just gluttons for love and affection and attention and humor reception. But actors, they want to be able to transform and to really embody somebody. It's like, we're embodying us.
Yeah.
So that's why when you see like Christian Bale or whoever like freak out on somebody, you're like, yeah, because he was waiting for 17 years to finally do the thing. And so his brain was like, yeah. So of course they have all this built up chaotic energy.
I cannot wait for the tape leaked of you on set doing something like that. That'd be awesome.
I mean, I want to do it. So there's so many times I want to do it.
I bet.
This is actually me on set when we finish shooting Dave, the FX show that I'm on, that comes out June 16th.
Only on
FXX and Hulu.
And Hulu.
Watch it or don't. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
About everything.
Yeah.
I'm always like, watch it or don't.
Yeah.
When they're like, will you plug this? I'm like, yeah, they're gonna watch it if they want to fucking watch it.
Yeah, watch my special or don't.
Or don't.
Yeah.
It's totally up to you. You have the power. But when we were shooting Dave, we did it took so long because of COVID. Like, we got shut down and then protocol and then we had to change. And then, so by the end of it, I mean, even the crew knew. And the crew was this way too. I wasn't a brat, but I was just like, come on, let's go. Like, I was like, let's go. Because it was 13, 14-hour shoot days for 5 months. Yeah. At some point, you're like...
5 months?
Yeah, dude, I shot a fucking Scorsese movie. It felt like it was like...
That, why so... How many episodes?
Only 10.
That took 5 months? That's because of delays.
Because of COVID.
So how long would it have taken without...
Like, usually?
If everything,
2 months.
2 months would have been 10 episodes?
It would have been knocked it out.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. It was like... I was like, this is a half a year to get through this thing. So by the end, you were like... I think everyone was done. It almost feels like if you've added too many shows, like on the road, it's like that same feeling. By the end, you're like, we did too many shows.
Yep.
we gotta go home,
it's
dude.
The week of that, you're like, this was dumb.
Yeah. 100%. You're like, why did?
So what's this week like? You got 9 shows.
You're like, what the fuck? They're like, you show up Tuesday night and then you go till the next Monday night.
Yeah,
so
like,
and your agents are like, you pay us and we sit here.
Yeah. Dude, I knew that because this upcoming tour that I'm gonna announce soon. Like, my agent, who, as you just pointed out, gets paid when I get paid, he called me. He's like, you haven't said no to a thing. I was like, I've been home for a fucking year.
Yeah, dude, we need to be out. We want to be out.
He's like, okay, I'm just letting you know that, don't yell at me.
No, but you also, that's part of the money I give you.
Yeah.
It's for me to be able to yell at you
exactly.
about bullshit, because at the end of the day, they're click, 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 click. Hello, he'll do it. I mean,
I've just been like, yep.
Yeah, me too. I do too, though.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you think about this? I'm like, yeah. Like, for 3 seconds, I go over it. I'm like, should I talk to her about the?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, sometimes I talk to her, and then now it's changed.
Do you guys have to balance tour schedules?
Yeah, but we have the same agent, which is great.
Oh, so they do it.
Yeah.
That's even easier.
Figure it out.
How funny if you had agents that were competitors.
She used to be like, you're leaving and you're not home, and I'm like, yeah. And now I'm like, I'm gonna be gone for a while. She goes, how much are you making? And I'm like,
oh, I like that attitude.
Okay. And then I tell her, and she's like, see you when you get back. I'm like, all right.
Bring mama the paper.
Yeah, bring the check.
So the agents coordinate so you guys can flip-flop tours.
We just basically gave them a rule that, like, one of us has to be home.
Oh, that's great,
so,
man.
Just,
Will you ever take the kids with you?
Yeah, they're just, it's like right now, if we just had my oldest, I feel like we could do it. He's 5. You can basically.
That's manageable.
Yeah, it's manageable. The 2-year-old, I'm like, it's just so stressful to bring him. And so if he were, I think when he's 4, that we could go do a weekend somewhere easily, It is kind of cool to think about that. I always thought, what would I, when I have kids, if like that's something that I would even do? Yeah.
Because I do know people do it. They bring their whole family.
I think I would take them, because I have weekends where I'm going to the city and I'm staying there.
Yeah.
You know, like the major markets.
Yeah.
And then there's runs where you're like on a bus. I'm not.
That's too hard.
It's too much.
Well, they don't want to live on a bus.
Fuck no.
No, nobody wants
They'll
to
be
live on a
amused
bus.
by the bus for about an hour.
Yeah.
And they're like, does this button do something? And I'm like, fuck. Like, you know, like, there's coffee everywhere. Shit.
Then you're flipping the bus flips over, lights in the air. You're that guy.
And I'm scared of them on the bus because even as an adult on the bus, you know, you have to brace yourself at times. Like the
buses scare the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so scared of bus tours because you read those stories. How many times can you look up on the internet when like it's like bus driver falls asleep or bus flips over in ditch, a bus runs out of gas and crashes and burns? Like for some reason, there's always like musicians, especially bus tours, bad shit with buses.
There used to be a thing where the bus drivers by law, federal law, can only log so many hours in a day, and it used to be like they write down. So that's when you have a lot of that. Now it's the computer will not let the bus drive.
That's dope.
So they'll be like, we can only drive another hour. And
yeah, but that's cool. That's way smarter.
Of course it is. Yeah, I'm like,
because back in the day, you know, guys were just like, Tommy, do we need to take a break? He's like, we're gonna be good, dude. We can drive to Oklahoma tonight.
Yeah, and so sometimes you have to bring out a second driver, and then they switch seats.
Oh, really?
If you want to do one of those,
if you want to do that leg, that's the easiest way. Have you done that before?
No, they told me basically like there was one where I was gonna do it on the last tour, and they're like, we'll bring out a guy and they'll switch seats, but we decided not.
Is there a database of bus drivers? I was thinking about that when Bert was on his bus thing, and
his face on it.
Yeah. Oh my god. And it wasn't. It was in his neighborhood for a while.
Dude, I
would kill him if I was his neighbor. I would light his house on fire.
When he wrapped it, I was like, don't you think that like it's like everyone's gonna know that it's your bus and they're just gonna knock on it? He's like, oh no, and then like. The first city he went to, he's like, probably wasn't a good idea.
No,
he's like,
dude.
People are not like, hey, Bert, let me in.
Yeah,
like,
all night.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
You have to open the door.
Come on in. Leanne, move over.
Yeah.
This is Micah, Jonah, Steven. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
Let's do shots, bro. He's like, okay.
No, I think that's the, like, I remember that bus tour thing, that wrapping it. I was like, man, I get it for marketing. That's, you know, Bert, king of that shit.
Yes.
But the transparency, I did think was always like, well, then they always know like where that bus is and it's going to be bothered even if you're not in it.
Yeah.
Because we were in Denver and there was just a regular tour bus and there was, a line. When I say a line down the block, you're like, it's down and wrapped around and around and around. And I went up to one of the women and I was like, hey, what's going on? What are you guys doing? It was like outside the Four Seasons. And this girl was like, it's Dave Matthews. And I was like, oh, he's in town. They're playing. It's like, yeah. And I was like, right on. What are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
And she's like, this is their bus. And I was like, mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah. So at some point they're going to leave the hotel and get on the bus and go to the venue. So we're here to like say hi.
Yeah. He'll love that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Just the idea. So I'm waiting thinking it's going to be like, is there a thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
No, we're going to see him get on the bus. There was a line to watch them get on the bus.
Dude, it's, yeah. I mean,
I was like, what
I
the
told
fuck?
my bus drivers, like on that last tour, I go, if anyone comes up to this bus and they ask who's in, you tell them Pastor Williams. And then he's like, what? And I go, just tell them it's a fucking church bus.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I'm going to preach somewhere. And he's like, okay.
They're like, oh, really? No, I'm out of here.
My bad. Yeah.
Like one of those evangelical guys, like the guy that bought private jets.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. What was his name? That guy's awesome.
Kenneth Copeland?
He was so cool because the interviewer was like, you said you won't take commercial airlines because those people are trash. He's like, Jesus Christ doesn't want me to take commercial airlines. The way he said it was awesome. That guy.
There he is.
Dude, he's a god, dude. I look at that fucking Top Gun jacket.
Oh, man.
He's like, look at how big my dick is. It's this big right here. That's my dick and that's my jet.
There are demon people in the air. He said that, what's his name? Tyler Perry made this thing so cheap, I had to buy it.
That's what it was. Tyler Perry?
Yeah.
That was actually such a good tone. Tyler Perry made it so cheap.
He's such a good guy.
He's a good guy. And you know, inside he's like, I don't normally like black people, but Tyler Perry feels like he's us.
He had other blacks on. We had the whole thing sanitized, and now I fly every week.
We de-blacked it before when we bought it. We had to de-black the plane, and then we got on.
You know what's crazy about that is like when someone's such a transparent piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you go like, I don't know if this guy's a piece of shit or not, but like when it's so obvious, you're like, who would still give him like?
Dude, that's why I say that about Trump all the time. When people are like blown away or angry, you're like, dude, he tells you that he's chaos. That's part of the gig.
You didn't figure it out like right away.
Like you're blown away.
What part?
Can you believe he would say that? I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
The guy that owned the bikini competition and did a show about firing people. Yeah, I believe he's a fucking psycho.
You don't think it's obvious that he's a con man?
Right, right. His whole gig was being a con man. Yeah. So when he does, like when these guys say stuff and people get mad, you're like, it's almost fun. It's like fun for me.
It is fun.
That's hilarious.
That was one of my favorite Trump things was when they would go, hey, you know, what about this issue in the Middle East or what are you going to do? And he would go, we're going to be looking at a lot of things.
We're going to be looking at a lot of things.
You're like, that's not like, that's what you say when you don't know anything.
Yeah, dude, that's a good answer.
You say it all the time.
Yeah.
You'd be like, we'll be looking at that and we'll look at other things and then move on to the next question. Like,
I don't know the KKK. I want to meet him. I don't know him, but I want to meet him. We're going to look at all of them. We'll look at all the KKK.
There's good people everywhere. And
we'll line them up and we'll ask them all questions. We'll ask them all questions and see where they're from. You have to know where they're from. Dude, have you ever done that gig in Huntsville?
At the
Stand Up Live?
Yeah.
I did that one nighter when I went from Zany's down there from Nashville.
Yeah, I love that place.
Same.
Yeah.
And when I'm down there, I had no idea. The drivers were like driving and I'm like, oh, that's NASA? Like NASA's, and he's like, yeah, that's so-and-so. This is where they launch all the whatever. And the highest development of so-and-so. I was like, whoa. Because when you go there, there's an extremely high concentration of like super intelligent, nerdy people. Yeah, that come to the shows. And I'm like, whoa, that's fucking incredible. And I kind of sat there taking it in and I was taking a picture of the rocket. I'm just sitting there and then it's silent for a minute and then he goes, also one town over is where the KKK started. I was like, curb that one. Just throw that one right in the trash. That's not like a parallel with like, NASA's there, also KKK over there. I was like,
if you do Huntsville again, because it became a game for me.
I love it.
Like, I do crowd work. I would go, in my head, I go, I wonder how many people I have to ask what they do until I find someone who isn't an engineer.
Right, they're all.
I'd be like, what do you do? Engineer. What do you do? I'm an engineer. What do you do?
KKK.
That's what I was looking for, man. Where are you are you doing any road stuff coming up?
Yeah, so right now, when this is appearing on the internet, tomorrow night, this whole weekend, I'm going to be in Dallas and Addison, baby.
Nice.
Doing that, and then I'm doing Houston and Boston and Madison and Nashville. I'm adding all sorts of dates. So.
And tickets are all at
AndrewSantino.com. Just go to AndrewSantino.com. That's where they all be at, baby.
And you do Whiskey Ginger and you do the Fat Asian thing?
I do the Dumpling. Me and the Dumpling do our show, Bad Friends. It comes out every Monday. Whiskey Ginger, my show, comes out every single Friday, which you've been a blessing to be a guest on. You know what, dude? You came back and did it for me, and I'm grateful. But the truth is...
Yeah.
I wanted Christina. Yeah. But I'll take what I can get.
Dude,
I'll take what I can get.
Give her a call.
I did, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. And she said, niet. Oh. You know what she said? She said, ask Tom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Permission granted. Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
See you guys.
Bye.